What's up, gamers? It's me, Big Brain Man, here to give you terrible advice on life. I have a Spider-Man shirt on, I have my hat on backwards, and I'm a successful YouTuber, which means that I have life figured out. That means I have found some of the answers. What is it all about? It's this. This is what it's all about. This is the peak, apparently. So you people out there who you're so lost in life, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you want out of life, you need advice on life, then who better than me to give you that advice? I don't know, I thought it'd be fun to change it up a bit and get you guys to ask me about advice on things, because I've lived somewhat of a life. I'm almost 30. I figure I'll have some experience on some things, and it's boring to just do regular Q&As all the time, so let's get advising! How to gamer. That's easy. You download Fortnite and you drop Tilted. Is Tilted even a thing in Fortnite anymore? I have no idea. I don't think it is. I think the volcano blew it up. But Fortnite's free, and that's the hip happening thing. Actually, you know what? Get Minecraft. Minecraft's been around a lot longer, and it's gone through its phases, man. Minecraft's like an adult now that everyone wants to hang out with again. So go play Minecraft and you'll be an epic gamer. How to stop yourself from procrastinating / staying focused on projects. Oh, cool Maddie draws. I can't even keep myself focused in one video. I probably won't even be able to keep myself focused in this video. For the whole thing. I'll go off on tangents and I won't even remember anything that I was talking about before. So I'm probably not the right person to be asking about this. There's a bunch of projects that I have on the horizon and ones that I've been trying to do for like a year, and the only thing that's stopping me is me. So my advice is to ask somebody else. Rossitron is asking me, what's the one thing you think everyone does wrong and your way is better? Explain it. All right, so you know those hand dryers? Stay with me. Oh, this floppy dick is coming your way. You know those hand dryers in bathrooms? I'm not talking about the ones that you go, those ones are obnoxious as all hell. I'm talking about those sweet new little Dyson boys. Those ones that just have the air blades, as they're called, where you stick your hands in and on the top of it, it says 10 seconds and it shows the arrows going up and down. Now, a lot of people seem to think that you put your hands into them and you go like this and it's supposed to dry your hands. You do that for 10 seconds and it dries your hands. But no. What you want to do is stick your hands all the way down into them and then for 10 seconds, pull your hands out slowly out of them until you reach your fingertips. And I guarantee you after 10 seconds, your hands will be bone dry. They'll feel cold, they'll feel like they're still wet, but they'll be bone dry. And if they're not, then you're doing it wrong, and you're gonna have to come back to me again. But I swear, I see so many people in there going, and then they leave and they're shaking their hands anyway. I'm like, you didn't even use it. It's the best hand dryer in the bathroom. Is that really the thing that I think I do better than everybody else? That's the hill I chose to die on. Oh, great Gaelic guru. I love that. I want to be called the Gaelic guru from now on. Just call me that. That's fantastic. Give me your sacred advice on the subject of cleaning my fucking mess of a house. 2 words. Petrol and lighter. Put those together and burn the mess out of your house. Don't burn your house down. That would be a terrible thing to happen. But just burn the garbage. And burn some of your possessions as well. Just burn a chunk of the stuff that you own. Because that means that there's less clutter. And that means that less stuff can build up over time after that. So the less stuff you have, the less mess you can make. And if you're like eating like a chocolate bar and you're getting ready to throw the wrapper away and you don't know where to throw it, so you throw it on your dog, just eat it. Eat the fucking wrapper. And then that'll clean up the mess. What's the best way to come up with your ideas for charity streams? And is there any motivation you'd give to people who get disheartened because they feel like they can't do it as well as others, or get upset when they see others raising more money, for example? Well, first of all, there should be no comparing when it comes to charity efforts. If somebody raises $10 and that's what they can do, then nobody should compare it to somebody else who's able to raise like $1 million all at once. Because that's silly. Charity is charity. Doing a good deed is doing a good deed. It shouldn't be compared to one another. Once you start comparing charity work, then it loses the point of being charity work. Then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You should do the charity stuff because you're trying to do a good thing. If you want to raise $1,000 and you only end up raising $20, that's $20 that you've raised for a cause. Sure, it might not be a huge world-changing sum of money, but at least your heart's in the right place and you're trying to do the right thing. I see a lot of people out there who raise money for causes, which is great, but I also see a lot of people who raise money and then have to shine a light on themselves about how great they are for raising that amount of money. Like, being great and raising the money to be great is the sole reason for doing it, which is just wrong. I don't think that it's still money raised, so it's a really weird double-edged sword where people feel like they can't criticize it because it's like, well, they did raise a lot of money, but the way a lot of people do raise money, I don't know, kind of bothers me a small bit. I feel like if you want to do a good deed and you want to raise money for a good cause, you should just do it. You shouldn't have to make a huge song and dance about how great you are for doing it. You can make a song and dance about what you're doing, because more eyeballs on the charity event means that more money can be potentially raised. And as for coming up with ideas for the charity streams, it's a lot of the ideas that are in the streams are kind of the same things over and over again, because some of them really work. Some of the stuff that we do in the charity streams works for everybody, and it brings in a lot of donations. My number one goal for doing the charity streams is to figure out a way to incentivize people to donate more. Sometimes that's doing games, sometimes it's making a poll that people can donate to and boost the numbers of and everything. So any sort of little incentivization like that really works. And that's why the merch is a good way of doing it as well, because people get something for their donation too. Because a lot of people have a hard time just parting with money, even if it's for a good cause, which I mean, I understand. So giving merch and stuff like that is also a great way of incentivizing people that they get something for their money, and their money is also going towards something else. How do I get my dick out of this toaster? How do you get bread out of a toaster? You wait. You sit there and you wait and you just let that bad wiener toast. You get a real schnitzel going and you just wait, and then pop goes your weasel, and then you have a beautiful toasty boy, and then you just spread some butter on that bad boy and dig in. How can I become the world's greatest drummer despite having no arms and no legs? Who ever said you needed arms and legs to drum? You can beatbox, you can mouth drum. Just like my boy Verbal Ace, who is killing it on beatboxing lately and went super viral on Instagram. He made this for us specifically, us in this laugh community.
Let's laugh.
See? He's drumming away with his mouth. He doesn't need his arms and legs to do it. Should I tell her? Now, is she just a whore? Or is she an Apple whore? Because there's an apple on it, so they're a whore for Apple products. I'd say no, don't tell her. She put on that shirt for that thing for a reason. So buy her a new Apple product. Decorating tips. I have this big fat empty wall in my kitchen. It looks really boring. What should I put there? I would get a giant mural of Thomas the Tank Engine smoking weed, and it would say Thomas the Dank Engine. Because anybody who's willing to put that on their walls means that nothing else in your life is going wrong. That means that you have everything on lock. And if people come into your kitchen and they see that as they sit down and dive into a chicken tikka masala, whatever you're making, then they know that you have got it on lock. They know that you are confident. If you could put that on your wall, there's not shit that anybody can say to you. Then or mount like all the TVs you can in that space. Mount as many TVs as you can on that wall and just have it playing like Fortnite streams in the background. And then you can open up your kitchen to everybody and call it like a stream bar. Just make money off your own kitchen. You take a lot of pride in your work ethic. How do you slow down? Oh, baby, you don't. You ride that treadmill straight into the fiery pits of hell until it consumes your soul and you're nothing more than a husk of bones and ash. At least that's how I used to deal with my channel and my work ethic, because nothing was greater to me than having 2 videos every day on time. Didn't matter what they were. It didn't matter how good they were. YouTube was just showing it to everybody anyway, apparently. It just needed to be content. But I ended up burning myself into a cinder into the ground and didn't enjoy my work at all anymore. So I'd suggest forced breaks, because if you are like me and you're a complete workaholic and you just feel like you have to work all the time, everything becomes part of your work, because if you do YouTube like this, then that's just the way it is. Everything, you are the content, you are the product, you are the brand. So technically everything you're doing is marketable material that you can put on your channel, on your Instagram, on your story, on your Twitter. Every thought is content, technically. Or at least that's the way most YouTubers' mentalities are, from what I've gathered. But for me, it was about taking forced breaks. So forcing yourself to not work. That, yes, I do 1 video a day now, and I can wake up and do that 1 video for whatever day I need it for. But then I'm like, I got that one done early, so I can technically do like 2 more. But it's making myself go, no, stop. Stop working now. You got the video done. Put in a lot of effort into that 1 video, get it done, and then take the rest of the day for myself. To kind of just do whatever I want. Either go to the gym. I've been going to the gym for like an hour every day recently, and it's been great. It's an excuse to get out of the house. It's just good for you in general. It really gets your mood shifted and gets you going. But just getting out of the house, sitting down, doing something you enjoy. For this type of job, and Captain, I know you're a fellow YouTuber, so I'm using this as an example. YouTube is a very mentally intensive job. Any sort of computer desk job is, but YouTube especially, because your brain doesn't turn off from YouTube once the camera stops. Because you have to maintain your audience, you have to maintain your social medias, you have to maintain the channel. Most YouTubers are 1 man, 1 woman, 1 person shows, and you're running the whole business on your own. So it's very, very difficult to shut off. Because you can always be doing more, because that's the way the treadmill is. The treadmill can always go faster, and you can always work harder to keep up with it. But that doesn't mean you always should. Go at your own pace. So for me, a good way of doing it is doing something physical, because I'm doing a lot of mental stuff here. Even sitting down to play video games is still something mental. Sitting down to watch TV shows is still something very mental to do. So I like playing drums. It gets the physicality of my body going. Again, going to the gym, it's a good way to focus and do nothing else. I don't think about work at all when I'm at the gym or when I'm playing drums. It's just a good way of getting your body connected again. It's all about balance. When I went to therapy, they talked about like the balance in my life was completely off. 90% of my day was dedicated to work, and the other 10% was dedicated to less work. It wasn't dedicated to me. So now it's more like 30% of my day is work. I could be doing more, and I could be boosting the channel into the stratosphere and doing all these different things to probably get the channel to different places and different heights, but I needed to dial it back, get a better balance going in my life, figure out what I want to do for myself, enjoy my own company, enjoy my own time away from my work, and become Sean for a good majority of my day, instead of making Sean and Jack one melded being the way it was for a long time. And I was giving over so much of myself to the audience and to the world and to the internet that now it's nice to sit back and enjoy the new relationship that I'm in, and hang out with my girlfriend, and go to the movies, and go out and have coffee, and then go to the gym and play drums, and then play some games for myself in my spare time. I played Metro Exodus completely on my own without having to do it for videos. So whatever it is you need to do to enjoy your own time, even if that's just sitting down and staring at trees outside, please, for the absolute love of anything good, take care of your brains. You only have one of them. You have to listen to it more than anybody else does. Make sure that what's going on up in here is sorted out first, because what is going on in here and what you think about yourself matters way more than what anybody else in the entire world can say about you. So if you can get that in check and love and appreciate yourself first, I'm still working on it, we all are, but if you can get to a good place in that way, then everything else becomes a lot easier. How to not be stupid. Oh, You have come to the absolute wrong channel for that. I have made stupidity and nonsense a career. Also, there's nothing wrong with being stupid. I mean, I'm not talking about actual IQ levels. I'm talking about like goofiness kind of stupid. Just embrace that. Let it be part of your character. Ignorance is where the problem lies, because ignorance is like if you don't know something and somebody else wants to teach you how it works, but then you're ignorant to it and you don't want to learn. That's where the problem lies. Being stupid just means you might not know something, but a willingness to learn, I don't think is actually stupid. How are you supposed to eat your banana? With or without the peel? You gotta eat that sucker with the peel. That's the most appealing part of the banana. That beautiful yellow husk. You gotta take that bad boy, flip it around, go ass first, go ass to face, and just get that crunch. Just dig in and get that crunch on. Eat it like the bananas that in Sea of Thieves. You just gotta eat the whole thing, rind and all. That's where the nutrients are. That's where you get the real good fiber. You don't want that weird, squishy, gooey mess that monkeys eat. No, you want that crunch. How to speak to women. The same way you speak to everybody. Women are people too. Just go up to them and like you would any other person, go up and say hi, hello, welcome. Be my friend! I need advice on girls and taxes. Just pay both and the problem goes away. How to speak Japanese like an anime character. You gotta lose all regard for your throat. You gotta just reach deep. You gotta hit that perfect guttural scream down there and say, Raina, yarendana, ima, kokode, shobu wa ima, kokode kimeru. How do you deal with hate from fans? Those fans that will love you 1 minute and then come at you for doing one thing they don't like. I am the worst at this. Because as much as I would like to say like, oh, I don't really care what people think about me, I think most YouTubers care about what people think about them. You want stuff to go well. Most people in the world care what people think about them. If you honestly, legitimately don't care what people think about you, most people like that are sociopaths. I'm a people pleaser. I always have been. I am the youngest in a family that haven't always gotten along, still don't always get along, and have never really shared proper emotions. So I'm always of that mindset to try and fix things. I try and bring people together and make them happy and stop conflict. I'm a de-escalator. I have a caretaker mentality, as I've been told and I've learned about myself. So that's why I was so eager to constantly make sure that everybody on the channel was happy. Everybody was doing good. Everything was catered to. I listened to all sorts of opinions and I catered absolutely all of my content towards what everybody wanted. And that's why it became such a whirlwind, because I catered to this group, then this group got mad. And then they were kind of happy. I catered to this group, they got happier, they got less happy. Somebody over here then. It was just taking too much out of me. So I wasn't able to keep that going, completely burned myself out, so I had to take a step back. I had to stop giving over absolutely everything of myself to you guys, which sounds bad, but it just means that now I respect some boundaries. I respect some more of my privacy and I keep some stuff for myself, so I'm able to disconnect myself when I have to, because before I couldn't. And then when people got upset about something that was happening on the channel, I took it very, very personally. A lot of times now I still do, and I react defensively about it because I still just want people to be happy. And even when I'm putting in my max effort and then some people aren't, I get very upset about it. So I'm still working on that. I will say I've cared a lot less about some of the more trivial things. Like when somebody says something that's just completely untrue about me and they want to say something to just completely hurt me and damage me, it usually says something more about them than it does about me. Honest constructive criticism is something that's hard to come by because most people just pretend it's criticism, but it's just wrapped in something else. It's wrapped in, oh, I've grown up, I don't like your stuff anymore, but I'm gonna take you down with me. Or, you've changed, I don't like that, and instead of moving on from it, I'm just gonna blame you. It still gets to me, and it still upsets me, because again, I have a lot of empathy for people, and I relate to people way too easily, and I do it a lot to the detriment of myself, sometimes, so It's still a hard balancing act, but I've gotten a lot better at it. I've gotten a lot better at being able to close myself off and being like, you know what? No, you're wrong. Stop. And then believing in my own opinion more, which 2 years ago, I very much didn't value my own opinions. How to stop thinking that everyone is either looking at you or talking about you when you pass them. Here's the thing. If you're in a social situation and you're thinking, oh my god, everyone's looking at me, what do I do? You have to remember that everybody else is probably thinking the exact same thing. And no one gives a shit. People are too preoccupied with what's going on in their own lives and in their own heads to ever give a shit about what somebody else is doing in the room when what you're doing is probably perfectly fine. You're probably just standing still looking around. You know what? It's arrogance. It's arrogance to think that people care enough about what we're doing that they're going to make fun of us for it. Honestly, people are just so worked up with what they're doing themselves. If they're walking on the streets or anything, they're going somewhere, they're doing something, their mind is wandering, they're elsewhere. They don't give a shit about what you're doing. Don't give over so much of your own mental brain power. Don't give over so much of your time and your mental wherewithal to other people. Don't get me wrong. Love deeply. Love people. And have fun and share your mentality with people. But don't give it to them. Don't give them that power over you. As my dad used to always say, each person you meet on the street is a fresh face to punch. And I'll never forget that. All right, you little advice babies. I hope that you had a nice time watching this video. This was supposed to be a lot more jokey than I intended it to be. I said I was going to use my big fat gamer brain to give terrible advice on things, and then people actually asked me genuinely serious things. So what was I going to do? Make fun of it? I can't do that! Then everyone will think that I don't care. So let me know if you want me to do this again. If you want me to do it, hit a big old fat like on this video, and also leave some stuff in the comments that you want advice on. Make them silly. I want to give terrible advice on stuff. But that's going to be it for me. I have to go read some sick children to some books. And I have to go, there's a dog in a house fire that I need to save. So, adios amigos, I'm gonna blend out, and blur out, and peace out. Farewell!